Hey, what's going on, everybody? Christian Ballard, sports journalist here at Ballard Sports Media. Love and appreciate all the love and support I've gotten over the years on the channel. Continued support. Let's keep it going, shall we? Uh, Today, we're going to look at Alabama's offense spring preview, and I'm kind of slacking on this one. We're also going to do the defense too. I keep thinking I already did those, but then I'm like, no, I did Auburn. And I definitely wanted to preview the two main teams in the state of Alabama, obviously where I live and everything like that, and just always pulling for these teams to do good in football. So here we are. Hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. You know exactly what to do. All right. So I don't really have much to go off of on this preview here. I mean, I think the narrative right now is who's going to be the quarterback for Alabama in 2025. I think a lot of people would go for Ty Simpson. A lot of people want to go for Keelan Russell. Not so much sold on Austin Mack to be the starter. Not that we think he's bad, but he might be third string right now if you took a poll from all the Alabama fans and media and everything like that. He might be your third string. I think he would probably start with Ty and then go to Keelan Russell, and then go Austin Mack, third string. So that's kind of where we're at with that. There's a couple different positions, obviously, to watch. This season on the offense. I think the biggest question mark, though, how's the offensive line? It looked really good in last year's A-Day scrimmage, which we have tomorrow this year's A-Day scrimmage on April 12th. But when I look at this, I think that we are in a position where Alabama can have one of their better offenses in a minute. And it wasn't bad last year, but it wasn't really great. Same thing for 2023, Nick Saban's final year. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't really, really great. Here's where the change happens. You bring in from Washington or wherever he was last year, you bring in Ryan Grubb, who was supposed to be in place of Nick Sheridan last season, but obviously something came up, and uh, I'm going to be honest. I don't know where Ryan Grubb ran off to, but he's here now, and Nick Sheridan is going to be an offensive analyst for Alabama, from what I have understood, and it's Ryan Grubb's show. Now, that also being said, I know that you know, and that everybody and their mother knows that Kalen DeBoer is behind this offense. I think that's fair to say. Um, he had a couple things to say this week about the offense and the defense, and I'm kind of going to read this quote here from Yahoo Sports. He said, "It was back and forth like you want. Defense continues to do a great job just being both good against the run and the pass. I love what I'm hearing so far." He said the offense did a better job holding on to the football. We had a couple of fumbles in the scrimmage last week. I thought they did a better job there. Taking care of the football is a priority, but both sides making plays. Some balls that were thrown down the field that we made catches on that were impressive. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense there. I'm just reading word for word. Also, a couple of guys high pointing the ball and getting a pick here or there as well. It sounds like we're having better luck on defense for Alabama than we are the offense so far. At least what Kalen DeBoer has said. Now, he could be sugarcoating a little bit. You know how coaches are. They don't want to give all the details right away. Um, but yeah, and then you got the quarterback battle, which, if it were up to me, I think it's Ty's job to lose. Now, again, I'm not Kalen DeBoer. I'm not Ryan Grubb. I'm not any of those guys. That's up to them personally as the coaches of the Alabama Crimson Tide offense. And obviously, Kalen DeBoer being over the whole team, he could put whoever he wants to out there. But I'm gonna tell you what, if we roll into fall camp or we kick off the season with Florida State August 30th, I would tell you this: if we have guys out there making mistakes, you have every right and my permission to yank them off the field and put in the next man. I know we got like we're not perfect. We're all going to make mistakes, but if it's consistent mistakes like last year, man, take them out of the game. That's what I got to say. Back to the offense and quarterback battle here. Uh, Ryan Grubb said to ESPN this week. He said on looking for the next starting quarterback, he said, "You're looking for the guy that's going to be consistent, that can show up the same and make the same plays all the time. You would have loved for this guy to have grabbed it and run with it, but we're just not there yet." He didn't say what guy specifically. He was just kind of saying, kind of our narrative, right? Like, obviously, there's Alabama fans out there with this quarterback battle that want to see Simpson finally, that want to see Keelan, and not so much on this side, but I'm sure there's some that say Austin Mack could be the guy. I'm sure there are. I had some of this conversation with Coach Smook this week on his call-in show. Uh, so there's that on the quarterback battle. I don't have much else to say. Um, Kalen DeBoer, if you look at another position, um, a couple different things here. And I get this from sports.yahoo.com, and I'll go ahead and share screen this and we'll talk about it. But he had some interesting things to say about the offense as a whole. So, what he said was DeBoer mentioned the lack of bodies available in the Alabama tight end room with injuries to Marshall Pritchett, who I personally believe could be tight end number one if he's healthy, but he's hurt a little bit. Josh Swavis and Danny Lewis. Now, the imminent arrival of Caleb Edwards. Um, he is. I don't. He played basketball. That's all I know about Edwards. He's 6'6", 255, right? And he wears goggles um, as a defensive basketball player, is what they say. Now he's also uh, a football player for Alabama. Now, that being said, we'll kind of put that on the back burner for now. I don't know too much about him as a football player, but I've heard good things on the basketball side of Caleb Edwards. But the fact that we have our three main tight end guys out with injury right now, I don't want to say out. They're dealing with an injury bug. Especially Danny Lewis and Marshall Pritchett. Josh Swavis, he's pretty good too, but having injuries right now, it does make you curious as to what Saturday's going to look like at A-Day with the tight end group. Um, we need that. What we need is a good blocking tight end to help with the O line and everything. You can have that. I think you'll be set. We need a guy that can catch short passes over the middle. Obviously, we got the wide receivers with Ryan Williams and Jeremy Bernard coming back. They've been pretty good and solid, according to DeBoer. Um, so yeah, I just the depth is there as far as having talent and depth at the same time. You have that for Alabama, but at the same time, it's it's kind of for me personally, it's annoying that we don't have a star set yet, but it's also very interesting right now that we don't have a star set. Obviously, again, like I said too, the wide receiver room, Jeremy Bernard, Ryan Williams. There's a couple different guys out there, man. There's a couple different guys that could come in and look really good on Saturday. There's a couple guys, Cole Adams, I've heard good things about. The run game. The run game is very important too. Jam Miller, coming back, decided not to go to the draft. In fact, I don't know if he was necessarily eligible. He's only been there a couple years. Justice Haynes transfers over to Michigan. Daniel Hill's a freshman. There's a couple different guys out there in the run game. I would be excited for Jam Miller and Richard Young, number 9, who was a freshman last year. He comes back and he's fast, he's physical, he just looks the part. He's wearing number 9, and we could say that he makes you think of Bo Scarborough because of his number, but not the look of him physically necessarily, like the face and everything, but the way he's built. I mean, he's 5'11", a little bit, in that good, like decent height category, but he's probably the more weight carrying running back that we have outside of Daniel Hill or Jam Miller. Hill is at 241 and Miller's at 218. He's 2 pounds underneath Jam Miller. He's 216. But Richard Young's one of those guys that I think this year in the run game, I'm gonna put money right now. I don't actually bet, but I'm gonna say this, that I think there's not a go-to starting running back for Alabama. There's just not. I mean, I guess it starts with Jam Miller, but even that, like, is he taking 100% of the snaps? I think he'd be lucky to take 90%. And I'm not saying that because he's bad or anything. I'm just saying I think the running game group is that good to where you want to use different guys, which is a big advantage if you're on offense for Alabama. It's not um it's a big disadvantage for defenses, especially those that I think are really good against the run, because you're gonna have, like, no two running backs are the same. I mean, they could be built similar, they could have the same name or whatever, but obviously they're gonna do something that's unique to them, that's gonna look good on film and on the field. So I hope that the game won't be televised Saturday for A-Day, but I do hope someone gets good footage, gets practice highlights and stuff like that, and we get to look at it. If I find something long enough, maybe we'll break down some film and revisit this. But for the offense, again, I can mention the wide receivers too. You got Cole Adams, you got Jeremy Bernard, you got Ryan Williams, of course, Emmanuel Henderson, Kendrick Law is out there too, Caleb Odom. There's a lot of guys. Can anyone step up this next season at wide receiver? There's a player I want to highlight. Rico Scott from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, was a freshman last year. Kind of a redshirt freshman coming in this year. He didn't really get much on the field, but he comes in, uh, 5 receptions last year, a touchdown, and 60 yards. And his touchdown came against Mercer, which obviously would have been in backup time, before Oklahoma in the Iron Bowl. He did have 2 receptions at Wisconsin. He had a reception for 9 yards against Michigan in the bowl game, the ReliaQuest Bowl. And in that first game against Western Kentucky, it records that he had receiving, but he had no receptions. So I guess he probably just saw the field there. Any fumbles? No. Rushing, he had a carry for 28 yards against Michigan in the loss. I'm sure that had to have been like a jet sweep or something, for him. But all I'll say about Rico Scott, keep an eye on Rico Scott for Alabama. He's fast, he's physical, he's got speed. He makes you think of Jalen Waddle. I'm telling you that right now. He's got potential, and I would not be surprised if Kalen DeBoer finds many different ways to use him in the offense this year. There's a lot we'll have to look at highlight wise if we can get to it from A-Day on Saturday. But Rico Scott, man, he seems like he could be the next great Alabama wide receiver. We talked so much about Ryan Williams last year, and I think he's going to be a stud again this year in contention for possibly a Heisman. And you got Jeremy Bernard out there. But when I look at the next like receiver number three, in my opinion, that could step up, Rico Scott. I've been looking at this kid since he was in high school and recruited by Alabama last year. And I'm just I'm telling you, man, this guy's good. He's a stud. He can catch over the defenders. He can run the route correctly. He's fast. He's got great burst and acceleration. He just does it all. So Rico Scott, I hope your number's called for the Crimson Tide soon in 2025. So that being said, that's all I got on the offense. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I know I didn't go too far in detail like all the experts usually do. I just got to hear from you guys. What do you love about the offense so far? If you're an Alabama fan, what do you love that you've heard so far? What are some things you're hearing that maybe okay, we could take some steps forward and just fix it up a little bit? Cuz obviously there's only so much we can go off of now without having looked at film. Um from from these experts, and I know we didn't really get to look at that today. We didn't do it in the defensive video either, but um, which we haven't done the defensive video, but I did do Auburn and or I did Auburn's offense and defense. We did not look at film there, and we just kind of went off what some experts were saying. So stay tuned for an Alabama defensive preview video for the spring. And thanks for tuning into this one. I love you guys. Jesus loves you. Keep your head up. Keep believing and having faith, and great things will happen. So I try to tell myself that all the time. I love y'all. We'll see you in the next video. God bless.